Are you in there? No. Can you guys hear me now? What about now? All right, thank you. Okay, guys, come on in. Come on in, come on in, come on in. I hope they can hear me now. Hello. Oh, God, did I freeze? 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 I don't know what's going on with this live. You guys come on in. I'm sorry, I had to disconnect. I don't know what was happening. It didn't have any volume, and then it was echoing. So I'm good now. I am good now. Y'all come on in. Welcome, 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 welcome. So we'll get back to what I was, I'll restart. So basically we was just starting off with, what this platform is all about. And for the ones that's new, thank you for choosing my platform to join. And for the ones that's been following, thank you for coming back. So what this platform pretty much is, it's all about self-love. It's all about growing, learning how to stand in your purpose. It's learning how to stand in your power, understanding who you are, walk with grace, handle situations in grace. And not only just that, it's just not allowing the enemy to take you off course, or anyone. That enemy sometimes can be the family. The enemy will use anyone to come up against you to cause you to get out of alignment. And that, as your coach, as your life coach, as your mentor, that is my job, to help you stay in alignment and to help you stay focused and on track. Okay, so welcome to my studio. This is Side Chat with Nye. Call it Chat with Nye. You guys can find me on YouTube, Chat with Nye. I just created a whole new YouTube channel, and I'm slowly uploading the videos on there. So if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. It is Chat with Coach Nye. Thank you for the likes. So you guys, and if it's your first time, I thank you once again. And you guys go ahead, like, share, follow, and invite others to come on. So for the past week and so on, we've been talking about standing in our purpose and understanding what our purpose is and how to properly handle situations, toxic situations. We don't, and what I don't like to use, we stopped using a long time ago, is positive and negative. Now you'll hear me say positive just to get your mind of where we're going with this. But the word itself, positive and negative, we decided to do away with that and just flow with the desirable and undesirable, because it processes so much better when you use it that way. So if I say I desire certain things, then that's what I'm going to bring in, which is your manifestation. If I say that is undesirable, then I won't even give it two thoughts to mistakenly bring it in as a manifestation or obsessive thinking or anything like that. So that is why we're choosing those two words. Because thank you, God. You change the way you speak and the way that you think, and everything else will flow. So one thing with me, a lot of people think that, I'm on some church board or something like that, or a A lot of them think that I'm a pastor. Thank you for following. Thank you so much for the follow. And I'm not. I'm just, I just am who I am. And my purpose is to show love. That is a gift that I have, is to show and teach unconditional love. So when you go on your journey, what you learn is God will teach you or allow you to have your gift. So last Monday, was it Monday? What's today? Wednesday? Yeah, it was Monday. We talked about, you know, what people think a curse is, looking at things at surface level, you know, and not taking the actual deep dive to understand what things meant. So we talked about curses. A lot of people think that you sit at in the kitchen, at the microwave, at the lake, and you conjure up these different spells, and you sit under the moon and you draw the point stars and all these different things. And that could be true. But mainly it is our tongue. Our tongue will curse everything. And at birth, we were already cursed. See, this generation has ended that. So it was taught. So the Bible always talked about manifestation. If you go and read the Bible, you'll see it talks about manifest these things, or, pray about it and manifest. But it wasn't until this newer generation, the new age, spiritualists, the new age religion, the new age, right, came in and set the record straight, because they were born with the veil lifted. We were born with the veil down. We were born with whatever was told to us. So let's talk about that. So at birth, you were already told what you were going to be. As soon as you came out the womb, this is the older generation. As soon as we came out the womb, people spoke things over us, and they weren't good things, but they didn't know any better. So they would, when they come out and say, oh, that one came out fighting. That one's going to be a fighter. That one came out mad. That one's going to be angry. See, those are the things that you put on your child. See, now in this new generation, they don't speak those things. I don't care if the child do look like it came out boxing Holyfield, and it came out, it had a real fight getting down the canal. I don't care. But what happens is, with this newer generation, they already speak in life. It started off with, there go my king, my queen is born, my beautiful baby. They say those key words and those small things, and some of them don't even realize what they're doing, but they're speaking the life over their child. And it changes the atmosphere in the room. So whoever was thinking negative, so if the doctor was thinking like, ooh, that's a rough one, ooh, he must look like his daddy, the mother is already speaking life, saying, no, this baby is beautiful. This is my queen. She's this, and he's going to be this, and this, that, and the third. And then that's what they become. Do you understand? So that's what curses are. Whatever it is that you let roll off of your tongue. When you speak it, you bring it into existence. So that's what we talked about Monday. And when I got off the live, I felt the type of way, you guys, and I felt like, well, because I never want to get out of alignment. And I always talk to God before I come on live or before I do any talking. So even if I'm doing some coaching, if you reach out to me and you say, hey, Coach Nye, I need to book a session with you. Thank you for following. I'm going to book you, but I don't do all the talking. I allow you to speak to me, and because the whole time you're speaking, I'm listening with my healed ears now, because now that I've healed, I'm a much better listener, and I'm a much better coach. So now I'm listening with my healed ears, and I'm praying at the same time for discernment, so God can tell me what it is that I need to tell you, because I'm looking for him to give me the answer. So whatever it is that you have, I want to make sure that I deliver the word, because if he sent you to me, that means that he's going to give me the word to get you through to the next step. So then you can have that connection, and you will have that confidence to go straight to him. So you have to understand what your gift is and what your purpose is. So bringing it back to Monday, I talked about the curses thing, and we had that settled. So now it was more like, okay, God, what else? And I felt a way, because this is not normally how I speak, right? But when you ask God to speak and use your tongue, he'll have you saying things that you'll sit back like, wait a minute. And I go back to him like, God, and that's the part when you have doubt. Don't ever doubt yourself. Just take it back to God. Now ask him, God, But then I have to remember that, God, I asked you to only allow the things that I needed to say. So the confirmation came when a couple of people, they reached out and we talked, and they were confirming what I said, because it was off for me. I was like, well, why with this? But I had to learn that it's not about me. Is for the people. So that's one of the things that we talked about. Thank y'all for joining. Thank you for the likes. So another thing that I wanted to talk about is for my strong ones. I know y'all in here, so come on in. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the one that's always the lap for everybody to come trauma dump on. Let's talk about or talk to the ones that always are the ones that's being pulled into the mess, because somebody feel like, oh, well, since she righteous, or she gonna tell the truth, let's bring her in here to this mess that we done came in. And then you got to come in and you got to sort it out, right? And it's like God always give you the right words for everybody. He gives you the right words for everybody. Like somebody can be going through, and you give the right words. You give the right encouragement. Them people get up, or whoever it is, they get up and they go on about their day, and they feel good because their spirit is fed, because you fed them from your spirit. But what about when you're down? You're laying there and you're down, you're feeling the type of way, right? And it's like, okay, God, but what about me? I'm crying. In the middle of crying, in the middle of your breakdown, in the middle of everything that you got going on, guess what's happening? Somebody's about to knock on your door, call your phone. They're not going to say, oh, they don't really care. They always say this, hey, how you doing? You're not going to have a chance to tell them really how you doing, because they jump straight into the, okay, so let me tell you what happened. And then you got to be there, and you got to be that person for them. And then you got to pick them up. And then when you get off the phone with them, guess what? You feel good because you did your job, because your spirit fed their spirit. But when you take that off, it's like, now, why didn't I use that advice for me? What's wrong? And then you go back to feeling a type of way. And it's only because, and this is the reason why you feel that way, because what you're going through and what your gift is for has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with someone else. So until you accept that this gift has nothing to do with me, this gift has nothing to do with me. This gift has everything to do with helping them out. You are supposed to be the vessel to help them. The vessel for you is going to come. The vessel for you is when you log on to Coach Knot platform, right? And I'm going to feed into you. I'm going to feed your spirit. And just the same way for me. I may feel down, but God is going to send someone to feed my spirit if he's not sending himself. So those are the type of things that you got to understand. Your job is not for you. And another thing we talked about Monday, because I want to wrap all this up and close it out, because I want the ones that were on to understand exactly what I meant by, how they're saying that, the awakening, this, hey, Keisha, thank you for joining. Thank you for the likes. That this is the awakening, and everyone's awakening right now, and everybody's going to get their superpowers. And I don't know, it goes on and on and on. Everybody has their different beliefs. And you can pick and choose what you believe, but I'm here to tell you that it's true. But it's not going to be, as I call it, the Avengers. I love the Avengers. It's not going to be like the Avengers, unite. No, what it's going to be is you're going to get your spiritual gifts heightened. God, in this time and in this season and in these moments, this is when God is heightening your spiritual gifts. And a lot of people don't understand that they have spiritual gifts. Now I'm bringing it full circle. What is a spiritual gift? Well, if you look in the Bible, it tells you the different gifts there are, right? So let's just say, before I'm jumping ahead of myself. So with those spiritual gifts, once you awaken, once you fall into the self-love, why is self-love so important? You hear people say you got to do self-love so you can get closer to God to get your gifts. Well, yes and no, but let's talk about it. The reason why self-love is so important, you see how is there's a side to everything. Sometimes you get an explanation on this side and you just run with it. And then you get an explanation on this side and you run with it. But let's put it together. So now you hear all this stuff on the different social media platforms, you hear about the twin flames and different things like that. We talk about that. Well, that's what the self-love is. The twin flame is within. So a lot of people look at it as surface, and that's what I need everybody to understand, what the surface level reading and everything is. You have to look deeper than that. Always know if it's plain like that, that means there's more to the story. That means that you need to get real deep in it, okay? So if you're hearing people say the twin flame, the twin flame, the twin flame, and that's fine, understand. It is not about going to chase somebody else that got the same spirit like you, splitting the two, and you guys are just floating around earth doing these different things, and and you guys are trying to come together, but this one got to fill out a karmic this, and this one got to fill out a this and this. No, the twin flame is within you, and that's why we talk about the self-love. That's why the self-love is important, because you have to go inward. You have to heal your masculine and your feminine energy that's within you. God blessed you with these different energies. And in time, when you need to use the different energies, it knows how to show up, but it won't show up immature. It will show up very mature. It will show up in the way that it needs to be shown up for the spirit. Now, when you operating in your gift, so now that you got your spiritual gift because you went and did the healing and went inside to fix the things that were broken. Since childhood, you went in to you decided to go inward to become the better version of yourself. Now you can get yourself together, because what everybody else thinking that they're chasing an actual twin soul that's in somebody else. Why would God put your other half of the soul in something that operate like Satan? That don't make sense to me. So let's fix that. Change our way of thinking, change our mind. So what it is thank you for the rose. Hey, Cindy. What it is that you're healing the two within you, your masculine and your feminine energy. And once those things combine, then you're ready to receive what they call the divine counterpart. What's the divine counterpart? The husband that God has for you. Not the one that you went to high school all these years with and you just stayed together because you guys been together for years. Not the one that, you know what? Well, ain't nobody else out here. This man has shown me so many times. Thank you. Has shown me so many times that he loved me, so I might as well. I done tried everything else, so I'm going to go ahead and try this guy because, not that guy. Not the guy that got all the money, but he has no respect for you. Not that guy. Not the one that disrespects you all the time and then turns around and say, hey, might as well get married. Not that guy. No, it's the one that God has for you. See, we can't see what God has for us because we're too busy listening to what everything in social platforms are telling us in this season. In this season is to cause confusion. In this season is all about confusion. As we talked about too as well Monday, we just recapping and we're going to pull it all together. As we talked about as well is ascension. So you hear everyone talking about I'm ascending, and they don't ascend it to ascended masters, and I'm not understanding how you ascended master and you still floating here on earth. But that's a Naishism. You guys can go against and you can do the research yourself and you can find your own way. Me, I chose to years ago go on this path of I want to find Jesus for myself. I want to know who Jesus is for myself. I want to know these things. And this was years ago, maybe I lived back in Georgia then, and I was really honed in on, I want to know these things for myself. I'm tired of hearing people talk about it, and I'm tired of hearing what people think. I want to walk the lands that he walked on myself. So with that being said, thank you guys for joining. With that being said, it's kind of like, okay, you guys keep talking about ascending and ascending masters and doing all these things, but you ascending master, that means that you have completed the task here. You are spiritually aligned. You are not supposed to be here. See, Jesus, if you want to look at it, that's what ascended master is. He don't have to be here anymore. He did his job. He did what he was supposed to do. Now he's spiritually here. And then what did he send down? They sent down the Holy Spirit. But that's a whole nother story. But what I'm trying to explain to you, stop reading things at surface level. Understand that it's more to it. And the same people that's putting this information out, they got it from somewhere. And some people feel like, well, I read this and I read this. But that does not mean that it's fact. And then they like to throw in, well, the man wrote the Bible. How is that facts? Well, that's on something for you to debate and you to go back and forth with. For me, I'm just telling you, okay? So, but take it back to God and research it yourself. So in this time and in this season, as we're talking about ascending, as I say, I'm going to bring it all, tie it all back together. So as you ascend, which means that you're finding the higher version of yourself. You want the higher version of yourself because that's the only way that you'll be able to operate on a higher timeline. If you are not spiritually aligned and understand who you are and have balanced the two within you and still willing to learn and believing in a God, believing in something of higher power, whatever yours is, that's not my job to tell you who to believe in. And this is what I'm recapping from Monday. It's not my job to tell you who to believe in. It's not my job to tell. My job is to do what I'm supposed to be doing. And if you would like to follow, then you follow. If you would like to know how did I get here, then I teach you. Do you understand? So it's like a whole lot of things that go on. So with the ascending, finding a higher you. But it's deeper than that. So when you hear people say, I'm ascending, well, where you going? Where you going? Because you still out here acting a fool and you still out here doing the same thing. How can you possibly say that you are doing this and then your vessel not clean? So therefore, I'm still working on me as well. I have my issues too. I still work on those things because healing is a constant. Learning and doing better is a constant thing. It's not just a once and done. So anyway, we're moving forward. So we talked about that. And now another thing that I wanted to touch bases on that we talked about Monday is how do you understand or how do you know what your gift is? And a lot of people think that, a lot of people don't even know they're prophets. A lot of people don't even know that they're healers. Have you ever entered a room? Have you ever entered a room and you felt like, oh no, you didn't feel like that, but they will tell you the atmosphere changed. You make them happy. You bring joy. It feels so good. Did you know those are all examples of what a healer is? People think a healer is, I'm going to put hands on you and voila, you're done. No, it's so many different healings that need to be done. Your spirit, some people are dried up in the spirit. Some people are tied down. Like with me for a while, at one point, I would just stay in the house. I didn't want to go outside. The enemy just kept making me feel like something was going to happen. I don't want to be around people. All this is going on and blah, blah. And then COVID didn't make it no better. But anything to keep me thinking and feeling that, oh, something's going to happen will keep me from healing people because when I show up, I bring joy. Joy and happiness. So it's one of those things. You have to look at what it is that's in you. Don't go. Listen, you could go to your pastor because I was told that the pastor was supposed to tell me what it is that my gift are and I'm supposed to take this test. Well, I did. I went to the church. I took this test that they have and the lady told me, no, this is impossible. You can't score high on all of these things. And I'm like, well, what are you talking about? Well, most people score high, like if it's a pastor, they score high in that, but then everything else they score. You got 15s for a whole lot of them. So me, when I'm asking her, I don't understand what you mean. What I meant was, and I should have made that clear, but I was being nice because I was a people pleaser at the time. And I said, I don't know what that means. She was like, well, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So for her, she looking at it, I just came in and just circled some stuff and they said answer truthfully, and I did. But for me, what I wanted to say is, who are you to tell me what my gifts are? Everybody think that your gift, this is what you're going to operate in all day. You could be a prophet, and guess what? I can ask you, hey, prophesy on me. They can't. For 10 years, they can go 10 years straight and not prophesy nothing. And then the 11th year, God give them a word. because it has nothing to do with them. Do you know that God can use all of us as a prophet? Whenever he needs to get the word out, he'll use whoever he needs to use, but it's in the time that he needs them to use it. So for healing, yeah, I may be able to pray over this person and they get healed, but then this person I may not be able to pray over, because it's not the power that's in my hand. It's God that's in me, that uses me. So those are the type things that you have to look at when you're looking at your gift. Just write it down. What are the things that you're good at? What are the things that you're passionate in? It doesn't even matter if you write down, I'm good at washing cars. Okay, we'll add that up later. Jot it down. What else are you good at? I'm good at cleaning. Okay, put it down to this side. Guess what? You're good. Your gift of hospitality. But at the same time, it might be a little bit deeper than that. You might be a spiritual cleaner. You might be able to go in the room and rebuke all things. Cleanse house. You never know. But don't doubt yourself because somebody didn't recognize who you were. Maybe you were hidden in plain sight for that moment. And the reason why you were hidden in plain sight for that moment is because God didn't want you to be revealed in that time. It was not your hour. It wasn't your hour. It's not your hour. Your hour will come. Your time will come. It will always show up when it needs to show up. You cannot force anything. That's just like trying to force somebody to love you. They either do or they don't. You either got it or you don't. And that's okay. It doesn't make you any better than anyone else. Your mission is for you. It's not for anyone else. It is for you to do your job. Okay? So if your mission is for you to go walk out that door and walk around your house 7 times and pray, it has nothing to do with your neighbors. You explain it to your neighbors looking at you like you crazy. No. Your job is to do the mission because it's about God, what he's about to do, protecting you. He'll use you when he needs to use you. So now we recapped on all of that. So I want to bring it in full circle of how using all that, identifying all that, understanding all that, how to bring that into your purpose. And that's how you stand in your power, because you stop caring about what people think. I don't care what people think anymore. I used to care what people think. I probably didn't show it a lot, but I don't care anymore. Because in this time right now, it is so important to get in alignment. Because you have so many people. I look on so different platforms and I see people, they get on their lives, they get on their posting videos, and a lot of it is nonsense. But nonsense to who? It's the eye of the beholder. To me, it's nonsense. It's not teaching anybody anything. It's not elevating anyone. It's not getting them where they need to be. But who am I to knock them? I'm not going to knock them, because they're doing their job. Their job is to do whatever. My job is I want to stay in alignment and I want to use my gift. I want to operate out of my gift, because I understand the importance of operating out of your gift, and understand the importance that if you do not operate out of your gift. So it's kind of like you go to work every day and you don't do a job, right? Except for on that job, they'll do something, you can get away with it maybe if you got favoritism. Favoritism plays a part in this, right? So you can get away with it, or you're just going to get fired. So with God, I have favor regardless, but I can't take advantage of that favor. If he gave me a job, it's way worse than being fired if I choose not to do it. Listen, being stripped of your spiritual gifts, I want you to tack on everything that go with that. Being stripped of your spiritual gift, which strips you of your favor, strips you of your abundance, strips you of your blessings, strips you of all your covering that you had. Now, you have people that walk around and they say, I'm just a nobody. You really will be a nobody. strips you, take the spirit right on up out of you. Because the spirit can't dwell in there if there's no light. Spirit can't dwell in it. Spirit don't dwell in the dark. That's what happens. It's kind of like, look at Samson. Samson, beautiful, beautiful hair. Long, beautiful hair. Beautiful. It was his power. It was his power. He never took it for granted all this time, right? Because he was okay until he became the ladies' man. And this is just a Coach Nye-ism, so follow me. He became the ladies' man. And he realized then that I'm catching all the girls. This is beautiful. Yeah, I'm fine now. Not only am I strong, I'm handsome. I got this. This is a Coach Nye-ism, paraphrasing, so roll with me. And I'm doing this, and yes, and oh girl, she come slither herself on up in there because she was doing her job, which is to be a snake. See, when people do their job, things happen. Because if Samson was doing his job, this wouldn't have happened. Because he'd have been focused. So now he's slacking from doing his job. Because he's so focused on self. Flesh, that's a heck of a word. Flesh. So here she come doing her job. Tell me a secret. How are you so strong? Oh, I tell her this. Because he feeling himself. I tell her this. Because if he had not just been solely focused on his fleshly things, he could have used discernment to see that she slithered on in there. Now, this is a Coach Nye-ism. I don't know if this really happened. I'm just saying, let's look at it this way. So he finally told her, it's my hair. Now, you just threw you threw everything away. You just threw all that away. You gave it to her. And they took it from him. Now his spiritual gift gone. Now towards the end they said, he asked for it back one more time and he collapsed everything. I mean, God gave it back to him that one more time. But anyway, at the end of the day, he gave it away. It was taken from him. And it left him as a nobody. Do you understand? Thank y'all for joining. So with that, I want you guys, hold on, let me get this right. So I just wanted to bring all that in and close it in with that of standing your purpose, understanding your gifts. That is so important to understand those things. That is so important when you're dealing with your self-love and your healing. These are the things that you want to focus on. You want to focus on those things. What is it that you desire out of this, the outcome out of this? A lot of people go into the self-healing with the whole thing of, well, I ain't going to be able to do this. I can't drink. I ain't going to be able to smoke. I ain't going to be able to do this, that, and the third. Well, which one you want? You want healing? Or you want to party? Party. Which one you want? What do you want? What is your desirable outcome? And with the desirable outcome, that will give you the level of outcome of the healing that you're going to get. So if you want to do half-ass healing, you're going to get a half-ass outcome. I mean, let's keep it real. That's it. How much and what are you willing to put up with? What are you willing to do to become the better version of yourself? What is it? You're going to sit around. A lot of people sit around. And let me tell you about me. So let's talk about it. So when I decided to start all this whole production company that I got going on, right? My plan was just to do as I'll keep talking about, the fitness. That's all I wanted to do because I'm a personal trainer as well. I wanted to do that. That was it. Help others become the best version of their self physically. But I was talking to my god sister. She said, you need to take a life coach class. And I was like, yeah. Yeah, it'll work. It helps. I thought that was a great idea because it helps when I personal train. Because when I personal train, you have a lot of people that have a lot of things that's going on mentally, and they need help with that. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I was able to do that, and I thought that was great. But then God was like, no, I want you to start focusing on things that's mentally as well. So then I took some more certifications and some more classes for different things so I can help with the guidance. And I was like, okay. Then it was like, oh, I want you to take this spiritual class too. It's called, for spiritual leaders. And I took that too. Then it was spiritual healing. And I took all these classes and I'm like, okay, God, you got me taking all these classes. Oh, by the way, you're going to start going on making videos, talking. You're going to do a podcast. You're going to do all these different things because I need you to reach so many different people. And I'm going to bring other people into your life that's going to help get you where you need to be. All right, cool. All right, I got it. And that's how this came about. Being obedient. And I sit back sometimes, like today I was sitting and I said, well, God, I watched a video when this little kid, him and his mom got an apartment. It was a nice apartment too. And he was walking through and they was looking through it. And it was a really, really nice apartment. But I was looking at the little boy's face. He looked like he was in high school, but I was looking at his face because everything about his face said to me was that they went through some stuff because he wasn't happy. He was kind of going through it, kind of like with the doubt of, well, yeah, we're looking for somewhere to stay, but, we ain't going to get this place because it was so, so nice. Got to have a discerning spirit. And his mom was like, well, I'm going to talk to the people. And he kind of looked at her, but he didn't look at her with hope. He didn't look at, hold on, give me a second. My kid's playing a game. And my oldest son got the deepest voice ever. Jayla, you know your voice deep. And so he didn't look like he was too hopeful about anything. So his mom said, it's ours. And when she said it's ours, he jumped up. He started screaming. He was so excited. I seen the joy in his face. It was a real special moment. Immediately, I started crying. Immediately, tears rolling down my eyes. Immediately. So, and then I looked around where I am and I'm like, you know what, God? Here it is. It was the smallest things compared to what God blessed me with. That these people are just trying to get an apartment. And I'm sitting here talking to you and having a conversation with you about things that I still want, I desire, that I haven't seen manifest. But yet, something so small, these people are excited for. And it checked me. That video checked me and brought me back down and balanced me because it made me realize how ungrateful I am and can be unknowingly. And so those are the things that we have to check. We have to check ourselves. We have to remember everything we have is a gift. You don't have to give us anything. Kind of like our parents. Yes, a self-reflection. Kind of like our parents. I'm at the age now that I'm able to look back on things and the hell that I put my mom through. And I'm able to sit back now and think like, how dare I? I was so upset about the way, as a child, how I interpreted everything. And that's fine because I was a child. But even in my adult life, I realized that, and I held on to that childhood hurt. It wasn't until I started healing that I realized she was never the problem. I was. Yeah, she could have fixed the way she said certain things, but I had to think about it. Why did she do the things that she did? Why am I holding her accountable for things when I know now and I understand now? But it was only when I went into healing, I was able to see with my healed eyes and process with my healed mind. Because before then, I could not. All I could see was hurt. You hurt me. You did these things to me. You abandoned me. You made me feel. But never not one time just sat back and thought like, maybe she was doing just the best she could. Now, I'm not going to say everything, because even now as a parent, I still don't believe in some of the things that were said, but actions. But I'm able to even accept the things that were said. And the reason why is because maybe they were said to her in that time. So I had to look at, listen, I had to go back to this. I had to go all the way back, and I had to look at a lot of women called their daughters, would go in on their daughters, call them ugly and different things like that. And some of them just had mental issues. Some of them just that way. But a lot of them felt, in the older generation I'm talking to, because that generation is their generation that therapy should have just been given for free. A lot of them thought that if I tell you you're not pretty, if I tell you that you don't look good, then you won't be out here being fast, getting pregnant and doing these different things. It makes zero sense, but it made all the sense in the world to them. But you got to remember, let's talk about it. Their level of understanding things capped out to about right here. Their level of understanding, our parents and, generations before us, capped out to here. That was as far as their understanding capped out to. Not saying that they're stupid, not saying that they're dumb. I'm just saying that it capped out to here. Because think about it. They went from their moms, their grandmas, their great grandmas, from the slavery to, picking the cotton to, okay, now we free now, but all we know how to do is pick cotton. We know how to sew. All we know how to do is farm. They went from that to, okay, now we're going to integrate schools. Okay, now we're learning how to be with other races, but we still got to make sure we watch what we say, how we act, and different things like that. So now you get to the hippie stage, and they like, hey, freedom for all. We're doing everything. Everybody, and they got their pot. They're doing whatever they want to do, and they all kumbaya. Then you got to the level of, okay, now you can work in the corporate places, and you can work these jobs, and you can make more money, and you can do all these different things. And then they got there, and then guess what? It stopped. It stopped because they never seen themselves. Only a small percentage of them have maybe went on. Because you got some that went to college. They went to college and they still went to college with those boundaries of, I'm only this much better than, I'm still down here. I may have a college degree, but I'm still down here. So they never went and tried to get further in their profession. Then you got some that work 50, 60 years and they're not the manager. They're just the workers because they capped out here. So how can they teach you anything? And then my generation and so on, we decided we're going to do what we want to do. You capped out here, but I'm climbing out the window. And then when we climb out the window, now we're sitting out there. We don't know what's going on. We're just sitting out there. We don't know what's happening. We out here figuring it out. We out here looking like fools, making fools of ourselves. But we don't know we're making fools of ourselves. And the reason why we don't know that we're making fools of ourselves is because everybody else is trying to figure this thing out. Everybody's trying to figure this thing out. And this thought process, I was watching this lady today and she was talking about it. And it made me think because I've been thinking, but I didn't know how to describe it and put it into words to bring it to you guys. And she just was awesome. So anyway, we figuring it out. And how do we figure it out? Whether it was the strip club, whether it was doing, out on the streets, the pharmacy, whatever it was, but we were determined to have the money and not be told what to do. We were determined. So now once we figured it out and we realized that didn't do us any good, then we went to teach our other kids, when we had our kids. And then they had their kids, and it's like, okay, look, their kids came out, was like, look, God said y'all all got it wrong. This is just a Coach Nyism. I'm just talking. Y'all all got it wrong. We coming out here. We manifesting riches. We just gonna be rich. We not working because y'all couldn't get it right. Y'all working these 9 to 5s, doing all this. We just coming out the womb. They 3 months old and they got business, Fortune 500 businesses. I mean, these kids come straight out the womb manifesting. They want more milk and they get 12 bottles brought to them. They already know how to make this thing happen. These guys came straight out getting straight into stock. And when we were sitting around, they tried to teach us about stock in school. We ain't trying to learn it. It seemed like it was so hard to learn. It was just so complicated. We don't want none of that. These jokers was like, no, we're going to invest in this Bitcoin. I remember one day, I just started hearing everybody going crazy, but it was a younger generation. Like, man, I just lost 60,000 when it all crashed or whatever. Man, I lost it. How y'all get that much money? I mean, how? But they knew something. They took over. They just said, no, we're not about to be capped out. Our parents were capped out. Our great-grandparents and our grandparents was capped out. They couldn't go no further than here. And then when our parents decided to climb out the window and get all up here, guess what? They out here having a good time doing absolutely nothing out there at the Freaknik. We was at the Freaknik. We was out there making babies. Yes, that's what we was doing. I ain't never go to the Freaknik, but still, thank you for following. But still, do you see what I'm saying? So this newer generation, this is the baby. These are our babies. Yeah, these are our babies. So instead of knocking them and saying, hey, y'all need to work and y'all need to do this. No. How about you just do your job and teach them what you went through. Just give them your testimony. And either they're going to look at it like, yeah, that's something I'm never going to do. Never going to do. Couldn't be me. Never going to do that. Or that's something that they will put in their back pocket. So when this person come or when a situation come, they know how to handle it. So that's the type of things like that. So instead of being like, I worked until I was 90 years old and I was 12 and I had to go out there milk the cow and I had to go. My mom, she gave birth to my sister and somehow my mom went out there to milk the cow and I had to birth my mama back through the cow because, nobody asked you for all that. And guess what? Yeah, you went to the military. No one cares anymore. You're out of the military. No one cares about what your rank was in the military. No one cares about what you had to do to get where you are. And you got the audacity to look down on me because guess what the younger generation looking at you saying? Well, something got to be wrong with you. They looking at you like you slow. Like, why would you do that? Why would you work that long? Only thing that I want the newer generation to understand is no matter what you do and no matter how you do it, you are not getting around healthcare. I need you to focus on that. Because what I'm not okay with, and this is my opinion, and I'm going to leave it there and I'm never going to bring it up again. What I'm not okay with is doing GoFundMes to help with your medical bills. That's called adulting. That's called adulting. So you out here flashing and having a good time. Either A, make you a health savings account, put some money in there, or get you some health insurance because it's not going anywhere. Because it's not okay to, force me to watch your video so you can get paid on TikTok because my heart feel like I need to be helping you. I'm just being honest. That, I have to, because my heart feel like, well, this child didn't ask to be here, so I have to sing you this and this, that, and the third. So that's the only thing that I ask that you guys do. And that's to cover you. It's not about us. It's not about me. But that's just my opinion. It doesn't mean it's fact, and it doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it important. That's the word of wisdom that I'm giving you. You have to do this because it's so important, because it's no way you can get around it. It's no way. So that is that. I'm not sure. I just know this thing keep jacking up. I don't know if you guys can still hear me or not. I'm not sure. I am not sure. So what I'm going to do is, okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut out of here, and then I'll probably log back on the next 15, 20 minutes. But I wanted to, my main focus on coming on here tonight was to tie back in what happened Monday, because I did not come on Tuesday. I be having so much going on. I be having so much going on. And so that's what I'll do. I'll log back in. So you guys stay tuned and look for me to pop back up, okay? I love you guys. And if I don't talk to you, just know that I love you. And remember to pour into yourself, then pour into others, okay? Night. I'll be back, but let me just go take care of this stuff. All right. Thank y'all so much. Thank you for the roses. Thank you for the likes.